For that reason, I can easily say, you're all a lot more, well, no, you all are a lot more wise than me. So the first person, the first closest family member, the one that annoys me the most, my sister, I called her first. It was the same response with my sister, very emotional. And when it's emotional to my mental health, where I have to stay calm, believe it or not, it was like, no, that's a fuck off. Fuck off, Andreas, leave me alone. Wrong family member. I called my auntie, similar response. Not with emotions, but in my auntie's way of telling me to fuck off. And the third person I contacted was my uncle. And his response was a bit more, I'm still not really going to give you much, Andreas, but you can connect to me. And for that reason, this process of me being like totally defeated and wanting to surrender, to say, look, you're challenging me in terms beyond reality, beyond nature. And for that reason, I'm not going to be able to hold that physical grudge against you. I read life that you want me to keep that contact, and the pain isn't worth holding the resentment in terms of an active resentment. The damage has been done, my mind is scarred, but we have this amazing thing as human beings, and I'm sarcastic again because it's very wrong, and that is the ability to prostitute ourselves on all levels, and I'm doing that basically. And my uncle, being a builder, that I read it that life wants me to keep this contact with my family. Didn't take me a long time to think, right, I've been pushed into the point where I need to do the absurd, but that's my life. So I call my uncle. Fingers crossed he gives me a discount, but that's not the point. The point is that he's going to come here today. He's going to assess the boat, and he's hopefully going to do the work, and hopefully I'll be able to move in. It's not about moving in, if I'm honest. It's about moving away, get away from making noise for my neighbours. Come here and start to learn how to live the boat life again with my mental health, as it is so far progressed from when I previously lived on a boat. It's a little bit more involved living on a boat rather than living in a house. It's so nice living in a flat. The benefits of living in a flat are the instant, near instant, always there, temperature, electricity always on tap. That's 10 minutes. And you top up electricity and you can run air conditioning, regulate the temperature again. That's the main thing, regulation of temperature. Running water. Not having to think about the generation of electricity, not just popping to 5-10 minutes to the shop. We're talking about coordinating logistics to get coal to the boat, diesel to the boat, making sure the solar panels have charged up the batteries enough, or you're running the generator if it's winter, and moving the boat. You have to abide by the Canal and River Trust rules, and you have to move the boat. And then if on top of that I'm making noise and I'm disturbing my neighbours, I'm going to have to be moving more regularly. And then you've got the engine to think about, blah, blah, blah. But in honesty, I half read it that in the video I made the other day, yesterday I think, when I acknowledged, I've been trying to live to my disability over the past year, and I've understood what I need in my life for my mental health as a necessity to function. Like really to the point, right, Andreas, this is you, this is your disability, what do you need? And I know I found out what I needed. And now it's a case of come to the boat and had a few little challenges to that. And I think those are reasonable challenges, and the most enlivening challenges that I could expect given my mental health, rather than the psychological bullshit I just went through with hospital that I thought I would have to carry forth as an active how can I put it, growing process. So with each challenge, it's there to grow with as a human being, isn't it? And I'm doing two things at once again, but that's what challenges are for, to take it on board and to integrate it and get on with life. But the way I've been able to reassess the 6 months, year and a half, instead of it being like absolute violation of my human rights, I'm looking at it like life has simply sent me the message that you need to acknowledge you're in a coma, and I'm in a coma, and I'm in a coma first. And it's to really get that into my head. Yeah, so that's where I am with the boat. That's where I am here today. And in terms of applied happiness, in terms of applied happiness, as I just stated about having to change my thinking, my mentality and approach to life, from such a contradiction of human rights being broken. My human rights, I've been violated by the National Health Service and people that are kind. And I, as I said, I was really affected. That's where I've been over the past 6 months. That's why you would have all seen me as an extra mess. Jigging my thinking, rejigging, rereading. It's been asking me to acknowledge this incomprehensible scenario. That's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm doing. And in doing so, the shock of the violation towards me was still in my body, and I couldn't get rid of it. But little things where it's like acknowledging that to my terror, because my life is still terror. Even though I've rejigged this, my life is still terrifying. It's not to the same. I mean, I don't know where it is, if I'm honest, and I'm terrified because what took place, and it shouldn't have happened, and it can take place again if it's taken place before, and I've got to be. But over the past year and a half, one of the hardest things has been the antagonization. I felt bullied by my mental health, by society, by the NHS, by everybody. I felt antagonized by life. It was like being bullied by everything. It really affected me, and it's still. It's playing up. I'm just holding on. Let's go over here. Let's see if it improves. So the antagonization really affected me, and I don't expect it to go away. But if I can sort of cut the old, rejig my mind, refocus to this new understanding. When the antagonization returns, it will hurt. As long as I can keep this mindset and really get clear on things, and being in a coma, if I'm able to really integrate it within me, then it would help significantly. But it's taken that personalization away, if that's what I mean. If I really integrate it, it was the personal aspect. It was like I could feel it from people. I could feel being antagonized like consistently by my family, by the NHS, by, as I said, by everybody, by everything. And it was really getting to me. And I think if I acknowledge that I'm in a coma and it's me doing it to myself, or at least what's essentially needed for me to get out of my coma, regardless if it's me, myself or not. Because I believe I'm in a coma, but I believe I've got, on the other side, I believe I've got helpers, and I'm here for like a spiritual growth type of process. So when I go back, I might have a better awareness of the world or something like this. And yeah, that's my thinking. And applied happiness is really what the applied happiness is logical in terms. This is what I was discussing in the other video, in terms of not wanting happiness, because happiness doesn't exist in my head. But an application of what we understand of happiness takes us from a place of challenge, and allow with life, what life should be enough, because applied happiness is always going to look sick in this world. But it's always going to look wrong. I mean, what we're talking about, a chocolate bar or a movie, or horror movie, or treating yourself, as I said in another video, with a small upgrade to a new car that you need, like you pay £100 extra to get a CD stereo. It's all sickness, and it is. But it's an application. The intention is an application to apply a little bit of happiness to our lives, to to make it so we're stronger. Because the stronger we are, next time we come to purchase a car, maybe we won't need to spend that extra £100. It's an honesty process, but it's needed to breathe the sickness. When we're in it, we're here. We've got to deal with it, don't we? So yeah. Consciousness. I think there was one more thing I was going to talk about, but I sort of want to end the video now. I've kind of distracted myself enough from the pain, which was the purpose of the video. And I listened to some music, as you just heard. First time in months and months and months and months. I wasn't really listening, but I was just putting it on because I listened to about 3 albums, Too Depressing and that one. That's my morning album. I just normally put it on and listen to... it's mainly one song I want, just Africa Must Wake Up. It just helps me wake up to the day, gets me into my body. And as I said, I wasn't able to listen, but just the acknowledgement of the action that I'm allowing myself to put on this music that I don't really want to listen to. Because emotionally, mentally, I'm still there of the past 18 months. I can't get it out of my body, but mentally I know the way forward. Or I've plotted the way forward, and the way involves me doing things that I would otherwise enjoy. I would enjoy listening to this one track in the day if life permitted. I'm not a big music person, but I'm forcing myself to do good things. Applied happiness. And that's it. Bit cloudy today, but maybe that's just London.